Hello, everybody. Cheers and welcome to Sips and Scripts, the podcast that brings together the best of both worlds, cocktails and movies. We'll dive into an all time favorite film or explore some of the latest releases and pair it with a delicious cocktail while we share our thoughts, opinions, and some fascinating behind the scenes trivia. I am Kirsten Jackson. I am a cocktail blogger and influencer at lowcountrysocialite.com.
Hi, I'm Kayla Rose. I'm an entertainment blogger at inmytheater.com.
All right, everybody. I'm Terrell Bernard, and I watch movies, les movies.
Here on Le Movie. Le Movie.
Yes,
Le
welcome to the
Movie.
show.
La película. La película. I think that's how you say it in Spanish. La película.
What are you talking about?
That's how you say it, or is it cine? Is it cine? It might be cine. Is that how you say it?
Movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's película then? What's película?
I don't know. That sounds like something
Lord.
you don't want to have.
Yeah.
Like if you got that, something that went horribly wrong.
Listen.
Yes. So, all right, y'all. Well, today it is Terrell's week, and
oh yeah, long time. So today we're going to be talking about the 2002 hood classic, Barbershop.
Is it a hood classic? Okay,
yes,
we heard this debate every time we get together. We have this debate.
Live in the hood.
So what now?
They live in
what
the
makes
hood.
it a hood classic?
Yeah, it's a hood classic.
Them living in the hood makes it a hood classic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's okay. So let's bring this back. I feel like we be having this conversation all the time, and when we think about like what is a hood classic, I feel like is it not more so like not that it's necessarily like they live in the hood. It's just like a movie-ish about niggas who, because they lived in the hood, but it wasn't like the movie itself wasn't hood. Well, I don't know. What's the definition of a hood classic, y'all? I mean, this is a hood classic, don't get me wrong. This is a hood classic, but I don't think it's just because they lived in the hood that made it a hood classic.
No, of course not.
I feel like it's the fandom around it that makes it a hood classic. Like, because it's I don't know.
Okay, well,
and find the definition.
Maybe the two things is maybe the two determine is that it's either made about the hood or people in the hood really like it.
Movie. And that's what I think I'd be leaning more towards that sometimes. Like more like it's a hood classic because we said it was a hood classic because we are the hood and we think this shit is classic.
Okay.
I'm thinking a lot about hood classics, like what's called a hood classic. Because to me, if you was to ask me, is Beauty Shop a hood classic? I would say yes.
Okay.
Interesting. I mean, technically, yeah. Was it respected by the hood though? No.
But I think it's hard to take women-led films and try to determine if they're hood classics, because some of them just don't.
Set It Off was a hood classic.
Know what I'm saying? Like, Set It Off was a hood
but that's one of the rare exceptions, and it's because they're like women doing bank robbing. But like you to think about like Waiting to Exhale,
hood classic.
Yeah.
Would you consider Waiting to Exhale?
Oh, I'm saying that's why I say it's like it's real. To me, it's more about we the niggas in the hood, and we thought that shit was
cinema.
Oh, here you go.
I would call it a hood. I would call Barbershop a hood classic before I call it black cinema, even though it is.
Wow.
Barbershop or Beauty Shop?
Barbershop.
Barbershop.
You keep going to beauty shop. Like that movie grossed about $5.15. You talking about beauty shop
But
like
beauty shop was
just
just the woman version of Barbershop, right?
Yeah, it was a spinoff.
Like it was a sequel-ish.
Well, fair enough, but I think that Beauty Shop would classify as a hood classic because that was like in Atlanta, like SWATs. Like,
okay, so what would you call The Color Purple?
A period piece. I would call it a period piece.
Black cinema.
Yeah.
See, but when you say the words like black cinema, what that makes me think of is like, let me think. What does black cinema makes me think of? Like those y'all. It's so funny because I got distracted. Someone was out. Anywho, a black cinema. When I think of black cinema, I think of like, oh God, I can't even think of a movie right now. That's so crazy. Just like any black television show. Any black movie, it could fall under black cinema, like any black movie made for black people, I feel like falls under black cinema.
Yeah, I think a hood classic falls under the umbrella term of black cinema. Yeah. But like not every black movie is hood classic. Like it's like a subcategory.
Right.
Classic is like a subcategory of black cinema.
So overall, it's overall black cinema, but then you have little offshoots of you got hood classic, you got romance, you got romantic comedy, you got comedy. So yeah, okay.
Well, all right, we done went off on a tangent. All right, y'all.
That fast.
Yes.
Took no time at all.
All right. Well,
all right. So yeah, we talking about Barbershop today. And so what was everyone's history with this film? What did Kayla, when did you first see Barbershop? Yesterday?
No. I first saw a long time ago. I couldn't even tell you when I first saw it, but I've seen Barbershop and the sequel and the third one. Ain't there three? It's like Barbershop 2, and then Barbershop The Next Cut with Nikki. I've seen all three of them before. I feel like I used to watch them a lot when I was younger. So this is like a refresher though, because I hadn't seen it in a very long time. And I was like, oh, what is this movie about? And then I saw it. So yeah, I've seen it. I like it. It reminds me of Friday.
Really?
It's just like the same vein of as much as I've watched Friday, I've probably seen Barbershop too.
Nice. Okay. Kirsten?
My history with the film, I can't remember the first time I've seen it, but I know it is just something. It's one of those movies where like you've seen it, you might not remember where, but you've just seen it. And I feel like I probably watched it in a beauty shop. Like, you know how like they'll be playing movies, like this is like a classic movie that is played in a beauty shop or barbershop or whatever. So I can't exactly pinpoint when I first saw it, but I know that it's been something that I never really thought about before. Like I enjoy the movie, but I never thought, is it a good movie? Is it a bad movie? So it was interesting to rewatch it because I hadn't seen it in a long time. I feel like I probably only seen it like once or twice, but I hadn't seen it in a long time. So it like Kayla said, it was a refresher for me, and it was interesting to think about different elements of the film, which I hope we'll get into. Okay. So what about you, Terrell?
I don't remember where I saw it. I really don't. It was 2002, so I was grown, but it's just like something that just you saw. It was I don't know if I was at the movie theater or at somebody's house or somebody had it on bootleg or whatever, but I just saw it. It's just like something that just comes to you.
Right.
I've seen that before. But yeah, I hadn't seen it in a while. But I think fondly of the film from when I did see it. And I believe watching it again, overall, it still held up. It still had some social commentary in there that I thought was important. So it was, yeah.
Cool.
All right. Let's see.
Beautiful.
So we about to jump into something we like to call the 60-second recap challenge.
Yes.
60-second recap.
Who are you challenging for your 60-second recap?
Eeny, meeny, miny, you.
No!
Challenging you.
All right. Okay. 60 seconds on the clock.
All right.
Okay. So
I feel like I gotta start it again because you ain't start when it started. I'ma count us down.
is it a way to start it in the bottom? Or does it have to take
No, for some reason I can't do it that way. I don't know why. So I'm gonna do it right here. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so the movie starts off with this weird heist, which I didn't remember seeing this. Like that was new to me. But anyway, there's this heist where they're like stealing a ATM machine by smashing in the front of a storefront, and then it goes on to like the main plot, which is Calvin, who owns a barbershop that was passed down from his daddy, from his grandfather, and he's obviously having some money problems. So he kind of gets involved with this shady loan shark guy, and then we see all these little scenes and stuff with the barbershop and like typical barbershop behavior. And by the end of the film, Calvin decides that he wants to keep the barbershop, he wants to return the money, so he kind of figures out a way to not have to pay back the loan shark double the money, and then that's it.
Wow.
That was something.
Wow, that sounds like the beginning, then the end. Like ain't nothing happening in the middle, huh?
That was something. What a beautiful recap. Almost like you watched the movie yourself.
Wow. Okay.
I think I did a fine job.
Yeah, it was definitely a job. You did
it. You know what? We encourage belief in yourself around here. So you did a wonderful job.
I did a marvelous job. Y'all, let's have a cocktail because y'all are terrible.
Yeah, please. Let's have a cocktail after that 60-second challenge.
Yes. So our themed cocktail for today is first of all, one of the iconic scenes in this movie is Eve going crazy about her apple juice.
Oh, and was upset. And I feel her on that. Don't drink my apple juice.
Yes. So I was like, well, I'm gonna see we have to make a drink. Huh?
Apple martini? Is it gonna be an apple martini?
It is gonna be an apple martini.
I
had no clue.
So we are gonna start off with our shaker, and we are going to fill it with some ice. Yeah. And then we are also going to add, Terrell, remember this? Woo-hoo.
What is this? Oh, yeah, the Tito's.
We got the big gun. We got Tito's in the house. So we are going to fill it with 2 ounces of vodka. So a glug, 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 glug. Drop that in there. Close that back up. So yes, 2 ounces of Tito's vodka.
Beautiful.
And we are going to then add, we've got Mott's apple juice. We're going to drink the baby's drinks.
I'm about to say, that's as baby apple juice as you can get.
Baby apple juice.
Unless it's Gerber.
That's crazy.
So we're going to take 1 ounce of apple juice. I have to turn around, right? 1 ounce of apple juice. And then we are going to do a half of ounce of triple sec. You guys remember what triple sec is?
Mm-hmm.
Orange liqueur.
It is orange liqueur. So yes, half an ounce of that. And then we are going to put the top on our shaker and give it a shake. And then we have our martini glass.
Beautiful.
Okay, James Bond.
Yes, and we are going to strain our chilled apple martini into our martini glass. And here we have a apple martini.
Why I think they used to be green?
Huh?
I don't know why I thought they were green.
You're thinking of an appletini.
Oh.
What's the difference?
An appletini is made with sour apple pucker.
Okay.
So it's like a little more tart.
Mm. Okay.
The more you know.
We learned us something today now.
Apple
We
martini.
done learned us something today. Is it yummy?
So yes, Eve would be proud.
We will be proud as long as you don't touch her apple juice.
Exactly.
But apparently you can touch her man.
Yeah. Yeah, because she was fighting harder for the apple juice than she was for the man.
Right? Yes. All right. So
Even though she did put her hands on that lady. Good Lord.
all right, y'all. So
All right, so we about to jump into a little technical summary about the Barbershop. Barbershop was released 2002, September 13th, exactly, 2002, distributed by MGM and 20th Century Fox, directed by Tim Story, screenplay by Mark Brown, Don D. Scott, and Marshall Todd, a story by Mark Brown, starring Ice Cube, Anthony Anderson, Sean Patrick Thomas, Saving the Last Dance,
yes.
Michael Ealy, and Cedric the Entertainer, along with Keith David, who doesn't get enough respect, in my opinion. Man,
Yes.
he's a good all-star.
And yo, wasn't it nice to see a baby Dion Cole?
Yes, I was so surprised when I saw him. I was like, "Oh, that's Dion Cole."
I loved that.
I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, "Okay," and he got to talk. He had a few lines in there,
Right? And I love like movies like this that are like have that ensemble cast like that. It's always enjoyable, even if the movie is bad. It's like just a good time.
Oh, and D. Ray Davis, dude. I forgot about D. Ray Davis.
Mm-hmm.
D. Ray Davis was running all.
Yeah, this movie was definitely packed with the folks. The folks, everybody was in this movie a little bit. Not everybody, but a lot of everybody.
Just about.
Yeah. It was a $12 million budget and it made $77 million back. So it was
that's really good.
Really good. I didn't even realize that. But I guess so if it had that franchise behind it, because there are like 2 other films.
Yeah, and then that spinoff, Beauty Shop.
Okay.
And other than Kayla.
Didn't Beauty Shop have a second one too?
I hope not. If it was straight to DVD.
I really don't think that it did.
They might not have. I thought they did, but maybe not.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, what was I gonna say? I know that I don't think I've seen the third one, but I feel like I've seen the second one.
I feel like the third one wasn't nothing to rave about.
Yeah.
That I remember. Like, I know that I've probably seen that movie once, and that's it. Mm-hmm. I can tell you I've seen Barbershop several times. I can tell you I've probably seen Barbershop 2 a couple. I don't really remember it. I would need a little refresher, but I can guarantee I've only seen that third one once.
Yeah, that third one, I think I saw it at the movie theater, and I was like, that's enough Barbershop for me. I don't think I would ever have gone to the movie theater to see that. I don't think I would ever have gone to the movie theater to see, like, if they put out another Friday, I wouldn't go to the movie theater and watch it. Really?
I know you're supposed to, but like, support the movie and stuff like that. But I don't know.
So it did go to
the movie theater for me is like I want to see big actiony movies at the movie theater, and like anything else, I'd rather watch it at my house. I think like I would go see Marvel, but that's probably like the only movies I really go see at the movie theater before I became an entertainment writer.
Oh. Yeah.
Like now, I go see whatever is at the movie theater, especially if I get to go for free. But yeah.
Okay.
What is up? All right, so y'all ready to get into this film?
You at?
All right. Yeah. Well, just real quick, film, like you said, opens up with the smash and grab for the ATM with Anthony Anderson and Lorenz Tate's brother, who I can't remember his name. I apologize, sir.
I always forget that he's Lorenz Tate's brother. He is Lamar.
I know he's his own person, and he does it's three brothers all together. It's Lorenz and then the other two brothers. But
Lorenz and the other two, poor other two brothers.
I know.
Poor other two brothers.
His name is Lamar Tate.
Lamar. Okay, thank you. Because I didn't even see it on Wikipedia. That's why I was like, I know it was one of them Tate boys is in here, but I couldn't. It wasn't Lorenz.
One of the Tate boys. Yeah.
Wild. Something interesting that I feel like they did a lot in older movies back in the day too was it was almost like you had two movies happening at one time. So you have this whole thing about, them robbing this ATM and like you have and then it cuts away to like the things happening at the barbershop. And I really liked that. I really enjoyed that.
I absolutely hated that.
Really?
Really? You didn't like it?
It made it feel funner, like if that makes sense.
I felt like it was just unnecessary.
Really?
Yeah, like because all it really kind of did was like add some like slapstick comedy into the movie. And it was like so different from what was actually going on in the barbershop. It was like, because we got them trying to go up the steps and Anthony Anderson breaking his leg or whatever. And like all of the little slapstick physical comedy stuff that was going on. It was like, we really could have made a pretty good, decent movie with just the barbershop stuff. Like, I was like, why is this necessary? Because it didn't add anything to the film. I was thinking like, okay, maybe they're going to break open that ATM and give the money to Calvin or something. But it was like, they didn't do anything except for Calvin finding a reward at the end, but he didn't even need it because he had the barbershop. It was like,
nah, he needs the reward.
Yeah, he needed the reward
he
money.
Was having a baby was on the way.
Yeah, he had to pay back.
He needed it just as we all could use $50,000, but he didn't need it to keep the barbershop.
Yeah, he did. He had to pay back the $20,000.
Huh?
He had to pay back the $20,000.
They did force it back in his hand. Okay, but even still,
like without them having stole the ATM, he wouldn't have been able to buy it back from old dude. Like he used that as leverage to get the barbershop back from him.
It was like these two wild plots, and they just kind of meet at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
I thought it was cool for what it was, for the type of movie that it was to me. I don't know. For me, it makes them seem like a little less like, it's almost like, it wasn't like we were watching like cinematic masterpiece or whatever. I mean, it is a really good masterpiece movie. It is. It's not, but it's like I feel like they weren't trying to make it like, oh my gosh, like every other movie that you watch. Like it's not Oppenheimer. Like we're not watching a documentary. It's a fun comedy movie. So you get like two different plots in one movie. I thought it was really fun. Which just reminded me of something else that I can't say because I will get us off topic.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't want to get us off topic because, I am one who sticks to topics every week.
Wow. Okay. She said that with a straight face. Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't like that. And I'm trying to think of another movie that's done it like something like that. But I really like the style, and it all came together at the end, especially when he got on that phone and he was like, "Oh, you a two-timer? You going to jail for life, and when you do get out, I'm gonna be long." Boy, I was crying. That was funny. I was like, "Oh, so
but I mean, listen, it is definitely. I mean, I get it. I think it's one of those things you either hate it or love it because it's just kind of a different style of, I guess, movie making. But like where you have two plots running against each other and then meeting at the end, and I mean that's cool. I just didn't like it because it felt like we were leaving one plot to go to this other plot. It felt, you know what it felt like? It felt like when you watch like a soap opera and then you watch one scene and then you cut to another scene and it's like another storyline and it's like
I can see that. I can see that.
And I'm not really a fan of like soap operas like that. So it's just
Young and the Restless. But I mean, get it in. It's a Young and the Restless still get it in.
You do.
Oh, Victor Newman.
They really do. The Young and the Restless ain't going nowhere, which is crazy to me. I ain't never seen nothing that lasts so long besides Grey's Anatomy. I'm like, what else could y'all possibly be talking about on this TV show? But them soap operas got them folks in a chokehold.
Done it all. Yep. But real quick question: what did y'all think of the people, not the cast, but the people in the film? Like, did it feel like it was a real place? Did it feel like you were like, okay, this was familiar to me. I could be here or I could be there, and I would see people like this.
Okay, who you shooting that question to?
Everyone, anyone, everyone. Who
wants to say yes? I would say that it was. I feel like those are like definitely back in the day type of like barbershop or beauty shop. You would get people who would talk to each other, and it would be like that. Now I don't want to hear or see anyone talk to me while I'm getting anything done. I'd rather you actually the person who's doing it to also not talk to me. Honestly, truly. But from back in the day, like it did give off that same little sense of, community and things of like that nature. I definitely think that if you would have walked into a barbershop, in any of those characters you would have seen. And then definitely even D. Ray Davis's characters, people coming in, trying to sell stuff. That was like an everyday occurrence. Anytime you went to beauty shop, barbershop, wherever, because I used to go to the barbershop with my daddy. So yeah, I definitely think it could have been real, and it felt real. And I think that they still do things like that up north.
Really?
Uh-oh. I'm sorry.
Everything all right?
I live in an apartment complex, and so we have this. We have a parking garage, and I guess someone tried to turn in here to get away from the cops, I'm assuming, and the cops said, "Nope, you finna get pulled over."
That whole story was
a few sirens. Like, yeah, then this happened. Like,
I can see it. Like the person zoomed in here, and the cop. Oh Lord, y'all! I see. I'm a storyteller. That's what I do. I created that scenario because I'm assuming that is what happened.
Yeah, you did. Anywho, oh my God. Well, okay. As far as me, my feeling, I do think that is a very accurate thing to say about this movie. As far as like just the realness of these characters, I respect this movie a lot. It's not a great film. The plot isn't great, but just the actual like experience of what we know, either being a man that goes to a barbershop or dating a man or having a son that goes to a barbershop. Like we all know about the barbershop experience, whether we've experienced it firsthand or not. Most of us have, like even as a woman, like going in there for a while, or, we know how barbershops are. And I felt that I saw a lot of characters that I have seen in real life. And to me, this movie felt like going and being in the beauty shop in the 90s. Like just like Kayla said, there are people, they're selling plates, they're selling perfumes, they're selling clothes, they're selling body oils, they're, selling CDs. Like, you have, and especially in the beauty shop. I mean, I can't speak for everybody's experience, but I feel like this is a collective experience. Usually, you have the young girls that are up in the front doing hair, but you always have an older person that's doing the freeze curls and the French rolls, like those older styles that the older ladies like. And so, having an older person in there that's like, the wisdom, the cornerstone of the shop, and then the shop being like the cornerstone of the community. Because I remember, and I feel like it's very different today, because a lot of that stuff isn't really allowed in beauty shops. I can't speak for barbershops. I haven't been in a barbershop in a while. But in beauty shops, like, they don't really allow people to come in there selling stuff anymore. They don't really allow like a bunch of like talking and loud music and stuff like that, because people are looking for this like spa experience, I guess. Just like Kayla said, she don't like nobody talking to her doing her hair, but that's a very different experience from like getting your hair done in the 90s and early 2000s. Like, the beauty shop was kind of a hangout spot, like the barbershop was. But I do think that I think the characters were really well done. And the cast did a really good job portraying these characters.
They did.
And I think that like there were definitely scenes, like, that big controversial scene that got a lot of blowback was the, the fuck Jesse Jackson and Rosa Parks, didn't do nothing but sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And like, those conversations in the movie might make you be like, but I know that I have heard these arguments before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I have heard these arguments before. And so it seems very appropriate that this conversation will be had in a barbershop. Because you gotta, folks that feel that way. And so I felt that was a very authentic portrayal of that experience, and I think that was really just well done. So yeah, to answer your question, I do think that these characters were very authentic to the barbershop and beauty shop experience in real life.
Yeah, I've definitely felt the same way. Yeah, I've definitely gone to the barbershop, heard people talking, people playing, people bringing stuff in, people selling plates, people doing all that stuff. It's kind of like a sense of community, which I don't think we really have like that anymore. And another question I wanted to lead into was, are there still staples in the Black community like it was back in the early 2000s, 90s, 80s? Like, the church was a huge staple in the community. Barbershop was a huge staple in the community.
That was so rude. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So do y'all feel that there are still staples of in the Black community that everybody can kind of get behind and is still like community oriented, helping out the community based type things going on?
I'd say that the church is always going to be a staple in the Black community, because that's just been that way for a very long time. I think everything has pretty much changed though, because I feel like even the way you experience church kind of like back in the day versus how you experience church today, I feel like church today has gone very like commercialized, of like, everything is a fashion show now. Like, people, I don't know, like, to me, I think we kind of lost the plot of what churches are meant to be. Like, even having the family days and things like that, or giving back, and like, I just don't feel like people do as much as how it was back in the day. And now, mind you, that might have been because I was a kid and I wasn't the one participating, and I was participating in the fun stuff and not like the backhand stuff. But could have been that. I don't think we do barbershops and beauty shops the same way anymore. Like Kirsten said, I think everything is now like this luxe experience. You go around now and try to find like a beauty salon. It's like, oh, come in, you get your like private little studio, and here's glass of wine. Like, it's no longer, now braiding shops might be a little different depending on where you go, where it's like you got 15 people doing braids. It just really all depends. Like African braiding shops versus like just Black braiding shops are totally different.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And then other than that, like I think it's also a very big difference up north and up down south, because like when I lived in New York, going to a Black tattoo shop was like a hangout spot. Like you had all these different folks hanging around a tattoo shop. It was really fun. But down here, you don't kind of see that stuff. And I feel like that might be more of where the difference is. I don't think people down south do any of this stuff anymore.
Really? Wow.
I don't think so, but I do think like people who live up north kind of still have that stoop mentality where it's like, hey, we're gonna go hang out on the stoop around here, or there's a popular grocery store that people sit outside and things of that nature. And I just don't think you get that in the South. I know they say Southern hospitality, but Southern hospitality feels more like your four people of your corners than it does like a community thing anymore, if that makes sense.
What you say, Kirsten? What you think?
What was your question again?
Are there still staples in the Black community?
No,
I got stuck on my glasses.
No, I just wanted to make sure I answer it correctly. You gave a great answer. I do think that there are still some, but I do think that they do not have the same sense of community and same experience that they used to. Because probably the main two I would say would be the church and the barbershop or beauty shop. But I do still see that there are some barbershops that have a lot of, like, I'll see a lot of guys hanging around or like guys inside talking or whatever. But it's not nearly the same as like how this experience was like in this movie. I think that has just changed. And I feel like, some of the cause of that is because of social media. A lot of us get our community from social media, and that's all we need. So there's no need to like come out of the house and hang out to interact with people. But I also think like as far as church, I would say I still feel that the church is a large part, like the cornerstone in the communities, but not nearly as much as decades ago. I mean, like in the civil rights movement, that was the church was the community. But I think even just as short as like a few years ago, like COVID has really changed like the whole church experience. And what I am finding, like speaking to like a lot of older people, like they are all of them, like even with the different churches that they attend, they're all saying the same thing. Like, we don't have any more young people in our church. And I think COVID is one of the like main reasons for that. Like, the new way of doing church speaks to more people. Like, if you are a young person, 9 times out of 10, you are going to know how to use social media. You're going to know how to log onto a digital platform to watch church. So there's no need, or that strong need to go into a church building. So you're left with a lot of churches who are just filled with older people now. And I think that, the sense of community is kind of suffering because of that. And also like the actual church itself is suffering with that. And like, I talk with my mom like all the time, like, the church is going to have to shift gears if they're going to want to reach young people, and because they are losing them. But yeah, I do still think that to answer your question, I do still think that there are cornerstones in the community, but not nearly as prevalent as years before.
Yeah, I would tend to agree that it's still important, but not as important. Whoa.
I'm good.
Yeah, don't choke.
I'm good. All right.
Lord.
I don't know what that was. I'm so sorry.
But I still think it's important, but I don't know. Barbershops, they seem like they're not as community based as they used to be. Like for now, to get for me to go into a barbershop, I have to set an appointment by app. I have to do an appointment. I remember when I came from a graduation at Georgia Southern, came down, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go to my old barbershop I went to when I was there and get my hair cut. I walked in there. It was different. Some of the people I knew, some people I didn't know. But for the most part, I sat in there for hours just because I didn't book an appointment and nobody was like, okay, I can get you next, or I can get you in here. I can try to squeeze you in here. I sat there for hours just to get a simple haircut for graduation. And it was just it didn't feel like it was, they really cared. It was like, oh, we making our money. We got our appointments. It's set. We doing this. And then that's it.
Yeah.
It just felt like it was like, I know you're trying to make money. Everybody's trying to make money. A barbershop is a lucrative business, which is another thing I didn't understand about the movie. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. It just seems like they don't, it's turning into like a corporation almost. It's like, as long as they got butts in the seat, they don't care about the people as much.
And I feel that way about a lot of things. Like everything now is kind of like a money grab. It is like about mass production. It's about mass, like how many people, like people care a lot less about their customer service and things of that nature. As long as it's good enough for this person and that person's going to move on and you're going to continue doing that. Like no one goes the extra mile. I was talking to my friend about this the other day about how nail salons have changed so much. When you used to go back into the nail salon back in the day, they would cut your cuticles. They would clean out your nails. They would pay much more attention than to just be like, okay, we're going to buff this down, put this nail on, get it and go. They don't do that. Like you don't get that full experience anymore. It's literally put nail to finger. Let's go. The next person is coming. So, I feel that way a lot of things. Okay. We love Lola Bean. Who out there messing with her?
It's a turf war out there.
Yes. Sorry, everyone. I have 3 dogs in my house right now, so it's just a lot going on. But anyway, but yeah, I agree. Like the salon experience is quite different from like, and I remember, back in the day, like my mom might call and make me an appointment, or she might just drop me by there because there was always like a sign that said walk-ins welcome. Now that whole walk-in welcome, I don't even know why they still have those signs because
it ain't. You not welcome. Don't walk in here.
And don't walk in here because we ain't got no appointments for you. You will.
Or if you do walk in, you're gonna sit there for hours and hours and hours. And I would say that there are pros and cons to that because I do feel like businesses, especially service-based businesses like barbershops and beauty shops, they're becoming more streamlined and more organized and have like digital platforms where they are scheduling appointments. And I understand that makes for like cohesive service. But it does take away from that experience of being able to walk in, get your hair done. So I think, like I said, there's pros and cons to the shift in services, but it's quite different from the experiences that we had years before when we were younger.
Yes, man. And see, another quick question. Okay, so at the beginning, Calvin was he's tinkering with this equipment so he can, I guess, turn his house into a studio.
Which I didn't remember that part either.
I don't remember that either. I'm not gonna hold you.
I remembered it, but it wasn't that important to me. It was like, I think everybody just remembers the shop. Like you at the barbershop, most of the movie, that's like the main place you are. And then you go out to barbershop to maybe on the street corner, to the corner store, or to Lester's place, or something like that. But like the main time you spent was in the barbershop for the most of the movie. So yeah, that's probably why people don't remember these little side things that was going on. But do you think that I guess he had something going on, but it just seemed like it wasn't enough for him. He wanted something much bigger, much grander. And it seems like, is that the shift that everybody seems to be taking now? Like, you don't want to do something that's working because you want it to work. You want more out of it. You want more. It's like people want so much more than what they wanted back in the day. And it doesn't seem like it's people want that quick, fast money instead of the long, I worked hard for this money. If that makes any sense. How do you see that? You know what I'm saying?
I felt like that plot line was also unnecessary. And I was like, because I remember in the beginning, I was thinking, are we about to have like a scene where Ice Cube start rapping like a real rapper, like that's what he is? I was like, why is that necessary? He really could have just legit been a barbershop owner who just was not as good at business as his dad was, and he's losing the business. Like, why is it because he want to throw away the barbershop dream and become a rapper? It's like, or whatever it was.
That would have been, I think that would have lost, we would have lost the plot there, because that's crazy. Yeah. He would have started rapping, we'd have had to wrap this up. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, it was just like, it felt like how I remember in Poetic Justice, like how Tupac's character was trying to be a rapper, and it was like, where did that come from? I mean,
just because they are rappers, now they got to rap in the movie. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, and then the movie did nothing. They wasted that plot line, which thank God, because I did not want to see Ice Cube rap in a movie. But if they didn't do it in Poetic Justice, like it was just like it's there, like this little jewel of a plot, and like it was like, what's going on here? Why is that necessary? Right. And he looked so weird putting that equipment together. Like, what?
And it was some old equipment too, even for the early 2000s. It came from the 70s.
It was like Master Blaster, like Run DMC something. I was like, what are you doing? You're gonna kill yourself.
Yeah, he really was.
And like there was nothing that pointed to any of those indications that he was interested in music. Like I could see if he was like bopping around the barbershop, like rapping or like listening to music. Like they didn't even hardly listen to music in the barbershop until they turned up that Marvin Gaye song. It was like, what?
It's something you should do.
He's an aspiring rapper. Like that's what?
And then you heard her talk about like when he was talking to his wife about how he ruined the barbershop because he used all that money to try to do get rich quick schemes. And she was trying to tell him, like, you're trying to buy this big grand house and do this. And I understand that you want what's best for us, what's best for our family, but I don't need all of that. And I think that's always a good point of like, I think every generation tries to do better than their previous generation. Right. And I do think that a lot of folks did get into like, what's the quickest way to make a buck?
Right.
And I half the time I feel like rightfully so, because I do feel like I feel sometimes I'm like, damn, I've worked since I was in high school. Mm-hmm. And you would think, having worked for so long, I'm only in my 20s. It's crazy. But you would think that you'd be better off from like where you are since you've worked so hard for so long. Mm-hmm. And so I can only imagine people who are older, who have probably worked a lot longer than me, have worked harder jobs than me, and still never like reach that next level that they're always looking like people like have look for, like still having to live paycheck to paycheck, still having to do X, Y, and Z. So I think that a lot of people kind of get caught up into wanting more for themselves and then wanting to figure out the quickest way to get it. I don't think it's necessarily that people wouldn't work hard for what they want. It's that it doesn't matter right now. It doesn't feel like it matters how hard you work. It's not attainable.
Okay.
So now it's like I would rather do something quick and easy if I'm gonna make the same amount of money. Like, you know what I mean? So
okay.
I felt like actually quite the opposite. And I feel like in the early 2000s, like now, a get rich quick seems more attainable than back then.
Right.
Because like
social media and got that.
Right. There's lots of avenues. Huh?
You really just need that one thing these days.
Yeah, there are tons of avenues to make money now, like that people just hadn't even heard of. Like there's tons of ways to make money. But back then, it felt like I guess they were trying to sell us, the audience, on that being his dream when it really didn't feel like it was his dream.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you are a business owner. Like that was a dream back then. Now a brick and mortar seems like a more
terrible
of a
idea
liability than idea. But back then, to be a business owner, you know. But I also feel like, you know, because a lot of times people be like, oh, you got this, you got that, you should be thankful. And if that's really not your dream, then you're never really gonna feel at home.
Right.
But I don't know. Ice Cube's character Calvin, I will say that one thing that let me just take this earring off. One thing that I did enjoy about his character was that they did not add into the plot where he was trying to hide it from his wife. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed that. And it was like, you really have a greater sense of community than you even realize, because, you know, the interactions between him and his wife were like, you know, beautiful. You might get us into these things, but we're going to fix it together. He tried to lie for like a split second, but she was like, come on now. and he told her, he was like, you know, this is what happened. This is what, you know, I did. And this is, you know, and they talked about it. And mm-hmm. I feel like this was a very good showing of somebody who was handed a career, handed a responsibility, and then coming into their own and realizing if this is what they want to do for the rest of their life or not. Right. And him just like basically not so much accepting it, but also like
he kind of embraced it.
Embraced it, yeah. Found the importance of what it was and found a way to make it his own. Because I'm sure it's difficult for, you know, you grow up in the family business and you are expected to carry this business on and pass it on to your children. Mm-hmm. And the truth is, you might not want to do that. You might want to do something else. But I thought it was a very beautiful portrayal of him, like accepting that this was important. It was not only important to my father, but it's important to the community and the family that he has made. Because, you know, I think that the movie did do a good job of showing how, you know, the different barbers, they were different. They came from different backgrounds, but they did seem to mesh well together as a family. Like they could laugh and they could almost fight each other, but they still looked out for each other and trusted each other. And I thought that was really beautiful.
I think they did that. I think it also, like, I think this movie really, really showed like the differences, like what it means to be like a family, like having an actual because everyone was different. Everyone had their thing. You had the boy who went to college who thought he was better than everyone. You had the white guy who hung around the hood a little too much. You had the hoodlum who is a good guy, he just done got in a little bit of trouble. You have the old head who's like been around for years and can talk to so many other things. And then you have this fresh new guy who's like just getting his feet wet in the business. And you have the girl's girl who's a guy's girl, but a girl's girl as well, who brings a little, flavor and saltiness into the build. I felt like it was such a unique blend, and you see how, they get upset with each other and they can move on from it. And shoot, these days you drink somebody's darn apple juice, they ready to shoot you. Like, I think that was something that was really, really shown. I felt really good. Like the ability of you allowing people to be themselves, checking them when you need to check them, but not throwing away those relationships just because you're mad. And even when they found out that he sold the barbershop and stuff like that, even when they got it back, they didn't have to come back to that barbershop.
Exactly.
But you see that it meant more to them than just this like one little slip up. Now don't do that shit again.
Man, I would have fought Calvin. Me and Calvin would have been fighting. Bro, you telling me at the end of the day, we about to close, let's talk I'm sold the barbershop. Y'all ain't got to worry about coming in ever.
Well, why you ever?
Yeah.
Me and Calvin would have had to go to blows. I would have had to fight Calvin. I ain't playing.
Yeah.
I come in the morning and have a job and leave that night and nobody got a job. Like,
but it happens. It happens. That is not something that is, that has unheard of. Like it happens. Unfortunately, like
how it happened, that would have pissed me off.
Let me tell you something. I will tell you this now. Do not have me show up to work and fire me. If you want to, like, I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know which one I would want better, because I think I would be mad either way. I'm gonna be mad either way. But if I had to physically drive into work, say I lived in Atlanta, like I live where I am right now, and I worked in Atlanta, that's 45 minutes away, depending on the traffic. And you have me drive into work to fire me, I'm going to be pissed, because you could have called me on the phone or had a Zoom meeting. We could have done anything. But also, if you have me work a full work day, I don't care if I'm working remotely or out there, and you decide to fire me at the end of the day, I am still going to be mad. I might have an extra day's worth of pay, but I'm still going to be pissed, because I could have been at home wallowing in my self-pity because you fired me at the beginning of the day versus the end of the day. Because I feel like if you fire me at the end of the day, there must have been something you wanted me to finish for you before I left. And like, no, if you're going to fire me, fire me.
Oh my God.
I'll be mad either way we go about it. So whatever.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah.
Don't fire Kayla.
I see. don't fire before or after. Just keep her around as long as she want to be there.
I'm not mad at that. No.
Oh man.
I know. I think it was a good movie.
Yeah, I did. I thoroughly. I don't. What is your problem with the plot that you didn't? What didn't you like about it, because I hope you keep going back to I didn't like the plot, or I didn't. What was your issue with the plot?
I wouldn't say that I have just a great issue, but it wasn't like this thrilling plot. Like to me, I feel like this movie is. I thought it was a beautiful love letter to the barbershop experience, which is an important experience in Black life.
Right.
But I felt like it was on the same level as like Soul Food, which is from the same creator, right? And then when I learned that made sense. Like, because it felt like I think Soul Food doesn't have the greatest plot, but it's like there as a vehicle to push us through the movie. But Soul Food is really about a family and soul food bringing them together. This Barbershop is about a barbershop, the barbershop experience. Like, and so at that point, acknowledging that the plot isn't even important.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I feel. That's what I'm saying. So it didn't have to be the spectacular plot for me to enjoy this movie.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay.
It's like literally like I watched a day in the life of people who work at go to the barbershop or work at the barbershop.
Yeah,
like,
it did feel like a day in life. Because like there is no part in this plot where you can be like, man, and when Ice Cube did this, man, I was like, what? I mean, but like when people talk about this movie, they talk about all the funny parts, they talk about the ensemble cast, but there's no like plot points in the movie where it's like, man, and when this happened, I was like, what? Like it's not that kind of movie, and that's okay. Like, yeah. So that's just how I feel.
Okay, I guess I thought because you was like, the play wasn't no plot. They could have took that. I thought you didn't like really care for the movie too much because it wasn't.
Oh no.
Okay,
it's a great movie. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just one of those that's like you could tell that, and I wasn't on the writing. I wasn't in the writing room, but it feels like somebody was like, let's write a movie about a barbershop. And then they just built the plot around that whole scenario. Like, just like how Soul Food, like, it was like, let's write a movie about a family and how soul food is important to them. And they just kind of like built a plot around that. Like, you can tell it was like experience first and then the plot. Like,
came later. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see that.
So, well, we,
What up?
what are we doing next? Are we ready to? Well, Terrell, did you ask us everything you wanted to ask us?
Yeah, I did have one quick little fun question.
Okay.
What would you have done? Okay, let's say they got the ATM open and then realized that there was nothing in it. What? How do you think they would have reacted had they actually opened the ATM and found out that it had never been stocked with any cash whatsoever? It was a brand new machine with nothing in it.
I was like, these idiots, how did they not vet this machine? Like, and be like, because you want to rob it if you're going to rob one, which is dumb.
Yeah.
You want to rob it like right after like the machine is filled. Like,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
you learn what day is filled or when or what, something, but
they just saw a machine and was like, we need to take it.
This is the one. This one.
And why didn't they take the cash register?
Probably because that was so unplanned because he wasn't even telling him to go drive into the store. He was talking about something totally different. He was like, what, go? And he just went. It was like, no.
And you just really, really be like, y'all some big dummies. Like, can't even criminal right. Like, because no, like at least put your card in to check your balance to make sure it worked. Try to get like $5 out of something. That's crazy that you could have prevented this had you even watched it. Like that's
during the day.
Did you even watch it during the day to see what was going on? Like if cops come by and like look at the ATM, like there could have been like so many other things that happened, and y'all just was like, "Yep, that's the one. We're gonna take that," and then.
And they kept overinflating how much money was in that ATM. I was like, no ATM holds that much money. Especially not no little corner store ATM.
I was like, bro, what are y'all doing? Stop that.
Just put it down. Because y'all dumb criminals. And yeah, that's really it. Y'all just dumb.
And him trying to get into that ATM with that axe. And the axe exploded.
That was, yeah, I saw that. I was like, whoa, he was really trying.
He was. I just think stealing an ATM gotta be one of like the top of like just why would I feel like it's easier to probably rob the bank than to just rob the ATM. Like,
because those things it's well known that those things are like impenetrable. Like you cannot.
I mean,
I was like, man, they should have just took it
all the time if it was like.
I was like, they should have just took it to the top of the building and just dropped it off, and maybe that would have maybe, but
maybe it would have
work.
gave him a little wiggle room. But other than that,
They might have put a little dent, but I don't even think that
would done nothing but tore up that damn sidewalk. But I don't know. That was a better try than them trying to like hit it with an axe. Like, I was like, what are y'all doing?
And they just in this hotel. They was going these different places. First, breaking up all the look. Tell me your mom ain't got no good silverware. That ain't what the silverware is for.
And then try to get grandma, put it in grandma's house in the tool shed, trying to get grandma all into your mess. And it was so funny when she said, "This nigga don't ever visit me." I was like, "Oh, that is so funny."
I was like, she know, grandma ain't no fool.
Grandma's be knowing.
Grandma know you was up to no good.
Yep.
Mess.
Well, we have any final thoughts, guys?
No, really. I think it's just one of those good, enjoyable movies that you really could just watch in your pastime. You don't even have to be paying attention to the movie really to just like still understand what's happening. It's really good.
I agree. I think it is a category of movie that you could just put on to go to sleep. Whatever part you wake up on is a part that you can be like and go back to sleep. Like it's one of those that you can put on. You know, it's a good in the background movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, okay. Well, let's go ahead and.
What we got? Best, worst, weirdest?
Yes, we do. Best, worst, weirdest.
Who are you shooting it to, Terrell?
I'm gonna shoot it to Kayla.
Okay. My best. I think my best was that like they showed off a really it's a nostalgic feeling that you get when you see movies like this. You see happy Black folks just being happy Black folks. I love that for us. That's my best. I think my worst was what was my worst? Like, the movie's so good. It's like, what is there worse to be about? Like, it's not like a heavy lift movie to be like, God, what was worse about this movie? I do feel bad for D. Ray Davis's character when he tried to throw him out and said he was gonna call the cops on him, and he was so and he talked about I am a valuable part of this community too. I help these folks here. And it was really sad to see him, go after him like that. I was like, oh. I think the weirdest part would have been, I don't know. I think the weirdest part, God, again, one of those like heavy lists. What is the weird part of this movie? I don't know. I really couldn't tell you what the weirdest part probably was that pimp gave up so easy at the end where he was like,
when the police show up, sometimes you ain't got no choice.
Right. Usually I don't know. I don't know. He gave up real quick to me. I understand.
No.
That's it. That's what I got.
All right. Kirsten.
All right. Best, worst, weirdest. I think probably the best with these kinds of movies is always going to be the ensemble cast. I mean, it was so good to like, I don't know, it feels like a celebrity family reunion. Like, it's always good to watch these older movies because it felt like movies like this with these, movies like this with these ensemble casts, you could tell like the 90s and early 2000s was full of that stuff. And that was important. Mm-hmm. It was almost, they knew how important it was to us to like see all these people all together. Now movies aren't really done like that anymore.
Right.
So, and like seeing a lot of stars who have gone on to like that weren't big name stars at the time of this film, but gone on to become names for themselves, like Deon Cole and Michael Ealy, and like that. It was really great to see that. So that's gonna be the best. The worst. probably like again, I'm gonna just have to throw it to that 2.2 part plot thing. It's just I understand how the two came together at the end, but just like the two different plots was just like it took you out of one story and threw you into another, and so you're like playing this tennis match with this movie.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't bad. I just felt like it was just not necessary. But it just made me feel like you didn't trust the barbershop theme and plot enough to let it stand on its own. The weirdest. I don't know. I don't know. Are there weird moments in this? But yeah, probably that the beginning where we're supposed to believe that Ice Cube is gonna be some rapper or sound engineer. Is that maybe what he was trying to be?
I think he was trying to get a studio going. I mean,
What
I
was doing?
Oh, he's trying to make a studio, and I was
I
like,
think so, but still.
and my thing was like, now that I think about it even further, like, okay, this is gonna sound terrible, but you are already in this service-based business where your main complaint is people always want things for free. And now you're going to be offering studio time? Bro, what you think that's going to be like?
You know they want that for free. Come
Bruh.
on, man. Once the single drop, man, just let me get it, man. I'm telling you, this a hit right here. Like, no, bro, no.
All right, brother.
I'm like, okay, all right.
It's the one. Like, oh, okay, that's the one. Okay, well, give me some ones. I need some money.
Yes. But yeah, that was weird how we were supposed to really believe that he was supposed to transition over into being like a studio engineer, sound engineer, whatever. Yeah. So, but that's my best worst weirdest. Terrell?
All right, let's see. Best part of the film, I thoroughly enjoyed the people, not just the cast, but like it felt like it was a real barbershop. It felt real genuine. I like the feel of the movie. It seems like if you walked in any barbershop in the United States during that time, you would see these same people and have the same type of rapport with them, the same type of conversations with them. So that was the best part of the film. The worst part of the film, I would say, man, that's tough. The worst part of the film would be how they didn't get caught. It looked like an ATM was under a sheet. They just rolling it everywhere.
That's it. That is probably the worst part.
And nobody asked what was that under the sheet. Like,
you're right. That is it.
Yeah, you got that one, Terrell. Yeah, that was absolutely weird.
The only person who knew it was the ATM was the little girl, and I was surprised she didn't tell. That was weird to me. Because little kids tell. They gonna tell it.
I do mean everything. They will tell it on the mountain.
Even with the money. You don't care if you gave me $20, $50. After I get this money, I am going to tell.
Yeah. And it's going to come out. But yeah, that was
my best worst weirdest. I was like,
happy hour, right?
Yes, it's happy hour.
I'm having a drink with Eve because, baby, here goes some apple juice, baby. Let's talk about why that made you so mad. Let's talk about it.
And that was so gross. And the guy that plays him, I don't like him, and I don't even know why. Really? But when I see him and stuff, I'm like, I don't like him.
You don't like Mr. Save the Last Dance? Huh? You don't like Mr. Save the Last Dance?
That is who that is, ain't it? The guy from Save the Last Dance. You are absolutely right.
That's all I know him for. Is like anytime like,
who are you talking about?
Who are you talking about?
Oh, the apple juice guy. No, I was talking about her boyfriend. I thought you were talking about when she was
Who was he?
I love him. What his name is? He's on Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, that's where he's from. Okay.
Yeah, he's been on a couple of different, and he was on. I think wasn't it Two Can Play That Game?
Friend,
with Anthony Anderson and Vivica Fox. I think
maybe. Perhaps.
I think he was on that.
Was he toward the end? Before Vivica Fox get back with her with the dude?
Friend.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I think he's mixing these people up because that's not Isaiah. Whatchamacall, Isaiah Washington or whatever his name is.
No. He's Bailey's husband.
Yeah, he's Bailey's husband, but he's not on the show. He show up sometimes, but he used to be on the show, but now he's on that fire station show.
Yeah,
that's not that man. I don't think, y'all.
That's him.
Yeah, he was in something else too. He been in a few things that I.
Hold on, because now I gotta go see. Because I don't think he looked like that to me. What's his name? Lord?
Strongly look like that. Yeah, that's Bailey's husband.
Yeah,
I hear what you're saying, but I gotta go find his first. Well, while I do that, everybody else tell the story.
Man, them chicken wings that he was eating in that movie looked so good.
Yeah.
It's Station 19, ain't it? I think it's Station 19.
Yeah, it's Station 19.
That might be it.
Jason Winston.
Your guess is good.
I don't remember seeing him in this movie.
He played Eve's boyfriend, the one that cheated on her.
Yeah, had the girl under the bed.
Oh yeah.
Someone look under the bed, and like, okay, why would you not look under the bed?
I remember.
But yeah, I'm gonna have a cocktail with Dinka. He was so sweet.
Is he really like African, or was he just putting on for the show? I mean, for the movie. Because I'll be wondering, like, people who are not African, but they pretend.
Yeah, back then it was nothing for them to do a movie and be like, just do an African accent. You can do it. Mm-hmm. Now you can't really get away with that, but I don't know.
I really couldn't tell you.
Let's see. Who played Dinka?
That's a good question. There was a lot of people, and they didn't really. Wikipedia didn't really do me justice with all the people that was in there.
His name is Leonard Earl Howes.
Leonard Earl is such a black name.
Yeah,
Leonard Earl. Leonard Earl, get over here. Oh, give me some sugar, Leonard Earl.
Wow.
He's from Los Angeles. No, he is not. He is American.
Okay.
Leonard Earl.
Like back then, they could get away with that foolishness. But Troy, who you having a cocktail with?
I'm having a cocktail with Eddie. Eddie gonna sit around. We gonna talk about the good old days.
I can see that.
And just have us a good old time. Learn something from Eddie. See his perspective on things.
You sit down and you learn you something right now. You sit down.
That's right.
Have us a little drink.
Cool. Well, Terrell, you ready for one gotta go?
Hey man, one gotta go.
This was interesting.
Let's pull the second one. Yeah, that one. That's the one. That's the one.
What's the question? What is it about?
These are rappers turned actors or actresses, and one gotta go. Everything about them, their music and filmography.
The music too.
Yep, the music and their filmography has to go. Gotta put one.
Hey, I had this in a bag. I had this until you said that.
By Ludacris.
Really?
So,
Move?
And I love Ludacris.
You gonna get Move out of here? Get out the way?
I'm trying to tell you that kind of behooves me. Because it was gonna be Ludacris if you were gonna say, let's just talk about movies.
Yeah, he gotta go. Fast and the Furious ain't
It would have been like, okay, Fast and the Furious, I'm so sorry. And I love Fast and the Furious. But after Paul Walker died, y'all did too much. And y'all continue to do too much. It's ridiculous. And I couldn't even tell you another movie that Ludacris has been in, honestly, truly. However, Ice Cube been in some stuff. But I don't really care about his music.
Oh.
I can't say that.
So it's like,
Today was a good day.
Today was a good day. That can't go nowhere.
Well, yeah, that's a good song, but I would listen to that song before I would listen to Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way before I ever listened to Today Was a Good Day. I don't give a fuck about today being a good day. Move, bitch, get out of my way. So like that's you messed me up when you said music and movies. Because let me tell you something, who's never going to leave? Queen Latifah? No.
You already know how I feel.
Yeah,
Nowhere.
Will, we can't do it. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was iconic. I'm so sorry. And I actually like Will Smith, despite everyone hating Will Smith.
I mean, his music career can go, but we can't get rid of Summertime. So
Summertime, you're right.
Summertime.
Well, it really is between Luda and Ice Cube, but I'm telling you, Ice Cube's movies, like 21 Jump Street, like it's just hilarious.
21 Jump Street. Most people say Friday. She's went to 21.
Oh.
Y'all know that Ice Cube.
I don't know, but have y'all ever seen that 21 Jump Street where they find out that he's sleeping with his daughter?
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Oh, that is so funny. It was so fun. For that alone, Ice Cube deserves to stay. I think I'm gonna have to get rid of Luda. It's so sad. I'm so sorry.
Luda.
Okay. Terrell, now you done put us on the spot. Who you choosing?
Dang.
Unfortunately, I would have to get rid of the Queen Latifah.
Oh, yeah. You smoking?
Yeah, I knew I was gonna get looks. I knew I was gonna get looks.
You is on that stuff. We gotta call your wife. We gotta have Kirsten. You have his wife's number because she might need to check him in because he on that stuff.
I've been riding with Ludacris since Incognito. I went back and bought Incognito, which is his first album before his first studio album. So I've been riding with Ludacris for a long time.
You're telling me you're going to get rid of Queen Latifah's
it's tough. I mean, it wasn't easy, but I just
single. Are you against women?
My goodness. I know that was coming. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. I knew it.
Women.
And I do, but I just Queen Latifah is excellent, superb, like top tier. That's what made this so hard. Will Smith ain't going nowhere. Yeah. Ice Cube ain't going nowhere. So it was always going to be between Queen Latifah and Ludacris. But man, just Ludacris, his music by itself. I'm like, I can't get rid of him.
I'm just done. And you know what? I really thought that we were better than that. But I guess not.
We not better than okay.
I thought you were better than that, but you're obviously.
I feel bad. I really do, because I really don't want to get rid of Queen Latifah. But
it's Queen Latifah's a crazy choice. I'm not gonna hold you. Okay,
you ready to set it off.
I just grew to love. Oh, she was in Juice.
Rethink this, Trevor. You be getting rid of Just Right.
See,
really? No, okay. When you said Just Right, then you lost me.
Just Right was a fairly decent film.
Then what you gonna say? Get rid of Last Holiday too? Oh no!
You getting rid of? Even though Tiffany Haddish gets on my everlasting nerves, you would be getting rid of Girls Trip.
You can get rid of Bringing Down the House.
Oh my God, Ice Age, the perfect holiday. She's been in Hairspray, Just Right, Valentine's. She's been in so many movies. She was in Scary Movie 3. You would have to get rid of the Scary Movie 3.
But I don't want to get rid of Ludacris, man.
You have to get rid of Brown Sugar.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Ludacris
got to go. Ludacris got to go. Sorry, Luda. Man, I love Luda, but Luda, yeah, he got to go.
I was saying, you have the
Welcome back, Queen. But yeah, Luda got to go.
Shoot, you have to get rid of Barbershop too. She was in that too. Taxi, The Cookout.
Not Taxi.
Ice Age. Come on, you would give
okay, Ice Age. I can see.
Taxi was super cute, but that is not one of her greatest films.
What?
Taxi.
First of all, Taxi.
For some reason, I've seen every single movie y'all just said. I'm like, I've seen all these movies.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that.
I'm just so disappointed in you.
I changed my mind. I have the right to change it.
No.
So Luda had to go, but it was still tough.
What other movies has Ludacris been? Let's see. Besides, all right, he was in
Crash.
He
was really good in Crash.
That was a good movie. I'm not gonna hold you. I really like that movie.
He did quite a few episodes of Law and Order SVU that were really good.
You know what? He has. And if you're talking about we have to get rid of all of SVU, now that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. I might have to go back to the
Sorry, I
went there. Now, wait a minute.
Wow. So we flip-flopping.
Ludacris is not Ludacris. Ice Cube has probably been in Law and Order before too. So most likely, I mean, everybody has literally been.
I know, right? Like you just show up one day and you just be on there. Man, I was on there. That's what I'm talking about.
Really, I was on there. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, y'all. All right. Well,
all right, so what we binging? What we watching? What y'all watching on TV? Kirsten. And then don't say Supernatural.
Let me tell you something. Okay, so I'm not watching Supernatural, right? Go to hell. I'm not watching Supernatural right now, but I miss my guys so much. They my cousin Sam Dean. And right now I'm binge watching Lucifer.
Okay.
Okay. So like I'm watching it for the second time. And I miss my guys so much. I can't wait for Lucifer to be over so I can go back to Supernatural.
Wow.
There you go.
But look what I got in the mail, y'all.
What was that? Oh, a book.
A
cocktail book.
Oh,
Supernatural
so
cocktail book. That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah,
Look cool. They got all of these supernatural themed.
That's a hardcover book?
It is.
Wow. Okay. That's quality. Quality right there.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so this is gonna go into my cocktail book collection. I only have like 4 cocktail books, but I really want to add some more to my collection. I have this, so I now have this one. I have like just a regular generic one, but I also have one that's like kind of this witchy vibe kind of thing. But I also have the T-Pain one. T-Pain cocktail book. And that is such a beautiful book. So anybody who's interested in cocktail books, I don't know, but I know I am. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. But so that's what I'm binge watching. I'm watching Lucifer, and yeah. What about you, Kayla? What you binging?
I've been gone for like a week. I haven't seen TV. I literally have no idea. So when I figure it out, I'll let you know. But I will plug in that The Little Mermaid is now available for streaming on Disney Plus.
And I watched it again. Well, half of it.
I haven't even seen it. I ain't seen it the first time.
Yeah, so I'll give you that little plug while I figure out what I should be watching these days. I don't know.
Okay. And I am
watch the back of my eyelids in about 2
weeks. Not the back of my eyelids. I feel you. I'm watching Swagger still. It's good. It's a really good show. If y'all have Apple TV, check it out.
I need to ask you if you had Apple TV, Terrell, because people were recommending the Changeling. Are you gonna watch that?
I probably will before my trial runs out in January.
Oh. And you got your trial through Target?
Yes.
Okay, because I want to try that because I want to see the Changeling. Because I saw people were recommending it in the From group of things to watch until From comes back on. And I was like, I don't know. But then I saw where it had like some Greek mythology in it too. So I was like, I might like that.
And it'll always turn it around for you. A little Greek mythology will always do it for me, honey.
So, but yeah. So, well, That's our show.
Yes, it is.
Bye.
Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in today. We had a great time discussing Barbershop, and we hope you enjoy listening to our thoughts and insights. If you want to know more about Sips and Scripts, you can head over to our website, sipsandscripts.com, or you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Sips and Scripts Podcasts. We would love to hear from you either way, whether you'd like to suggest a film for us to watch or share your thoughts on today's episode. Or just to say hello. We love that too. Drop us a DM on social media. And until then,
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Cheerio.
Cheers. I'm still sipping on my drink. I'm sipping as slow as I haven't eaten. And I don't want to be like,
yeah, turn up.
Turn
all right.
up.
Bye.
Bye.